Hi guys, welcome back to SuperMath4U. This is Mr. Urrego, and today we're going to review the Pert. The Pert stands for Post-Secondary Education Readiness Test. What's the idea? The Pert is used to place you in college. Okay, there's an order in how you take the math classes in college, and the Pert, what's going to happen is depending on how you do in the Pert exam, you get placed into a college class. Okay, hopefully not a remedial class, but again, that's the reason we're studying today. So the idea is the better you do in the Pert exam, the higher level math you'll be placed. Remember, every jump that you make to a higher class in college, that means you're skipping a semester in time during college. So for the Pert, make sure to study all these video series that I'll have here, and I'll link in the description, as well as other tools to help you get better. Refer to the description section for links to very helpful tools, and also to our tutoring program. Yes, we can help you study for the Pert. Just click on the description section. Let's start. The first part that we're going to do is part 1, General Mathematics. If you do well in this section, you'll be placed in Developmental Math 1 or higher. So pay attention and good luck. Now remember, there's no calculator allowed on the Pert test. There will be some problems that you are able to use a calculator, but the system will open a pop-up calculator that you're able to use. Just a general rule, we're going to review adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, any regular numbers as well as fractions. So the basic part of your math has to be on point. Okay, so in this section there's 96 questions, so it's very long. We're going to do the problem in 2 sections. So the first, choose the one alternative that best completes the statement or answers the questions. All right, in the first part we're going to be doing PEMDAS, order operations. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition and subtraction. Multiplication and division go together, addition and subtraction go together. As you go, this is the order that you take. In the first problem, there's no parentheses, there are no exponents, there's a multiplication, so this is the first thing that you do, 13 times 16. So you take the 6 and you multiply times both of them. The first thing is 6 times 3 is 18, you put the 8 and you carry 1. Then you do 6 times 1 is 6 and 1 is 7. As soon as you multiply that, this is the units, right? The digit. Then you go to the tens. Before you multiply the tens, you know that you have to place a 0 here, so to cover that space. And then you do 1 times 3 is 3, and you put it under the tens, and then 1 times 1 is 1. Once you have this, you add, coming down. So 8 plus 0 is 8. 7 and 3 is 10. You carry 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So my answer is 208, and this is this part. Okay, keep that in mind. It's not your final answer. So I did the multiplication, now I do the addition, and 208 plus 19, might as well put it here. 8 and 9 is 17. We carry 1, we put it right here. 1 plus 0 plus 1 is 2, and bring down the 2, and that's 227. Answer is D. Number 2, 76 minus 5 times 2 times 3. Again, before I subtract, I got to do all these multiplications. So I keep the 76 here, minus 5 times 2 is 10, times 2 is 30. Again, you take the first 2, multiply, that's 10, and you answer times the last one. Now 70 minus 36, we could put it here on the side. 6 minus 0 is 6, 7 minus 3 is 4. You got 46, which is D again. For number 3, we have a division. So what's going to happen is we're going to do PEMDAS on the top and PEMDAS on the bottom. Alright, so they're individual. So the top is only one operation, 9 minus 2 gives you 7. And the bottom as well, only 1. 4 plus 3 is 7. And at the end, you do the division. 7 divided by 7 is 1. It's D again, a lot of D's. Here, number 4, you have parentheses. I gotta go inside the parentheses and do everything on PEMDAS. So I go inside the parentheses until I finish. Right now there's only one operation. 8 plus 1 is 9, and I keep it within parentheses. And here is only one operation. 8 minus 1 is 7. Once you do each parenthesis by itself, then you multiply the 2 parentheses. Because there's nothing between the 2 parentheses, that means you're multiplying. 9 times 7 is 63. Times table, they have to be on point, okay? All my students said that Pert is simple, but it's a lot of basic math, Next, find the area of the shaded region, okay? So I have this rectangle, basically is made out of two pieces. Now, you know that the area of the rectangle is base times height. Okay, my base is the bottom part and the height is this, or length times width. It doesn't matter how you call it. The idea is that you multiply the bottom times the side, right? You multiply those two sides and you get the area of the whole rectangle. Now here they gave me 18, which is from here all the way to here. That's 18. And 6 is the remaining piece. So if I'm going to do this in only one shot, I got to add 18 plus 6. That's going to give me 24. Now the base, all the base is 24. This width, height, whatever you're going to call it, is 7. So the area is going to be the base, which is 24, times the height, which is 7. All right, let's multiply that. 24 times 7. 7 times 4 is 28. I carry 2. 7 times 2 is 14, and 2 is 16. So the complete area is 168. We come over here and it's A, square centimeters. Why square? Because this is an area, so square units. Okay. Number 6, find the average of those 4 numbers. When I find the average, they're asking me to add all of them and divide by how many numbers I have. So I have to add. That's my first thing. And once I got my answer, I have to divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4. Divided by 4. The same number of numbers that I have. So let's add this. 1 and 6 is 7, and 5 is 12, 14. Carry 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 is 6. So now I have 64. To find the average, I had to divide that by the same number of numbers that I have, which is 4. Okay? And you can do this like this. You can simplify if you want, right? Or you can just do long division, which is 64 divided by 4. One of the two. So let's go this way. 4 into 6 is 1 time, right? And then I go back multiplying. 1 times 4 is 4, and I put it underneath and I subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2, and my next step is I bring down the next digit. Now I go, how many times is 4 into 24? 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24, and then I subtract and I get 0. So 64 divided by 4 is 16. Do I have this as one of the answers? D. So as you can see, there's a lot of basic math, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. Make sure you practice this. All right, let's go for 7. For 5 mathematics tests, your scores were 81, 86, 81, 76, and 71. What was your average score? You see that? The same idea. You add all of them and then you divide it by 5. So let's add them here. So let's add this. So 1 plus 6, 7, and 1 is 8, and 6 is 14, and 1 is 15. Put the 5 and carry 1. 1 plus 8 is 9, and 8 is 17, and 8 is 25, 32, 39. Alright, so I add those 5, and now I have to divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got to divide 395 divided by 5. Okay, now let's go over division. Is 5 into the 3? No, it's not. So I got to take 2 digits. Is 5 into 39? How many times? That's right, 7. 7 times 5 is 35. And I subtract. 9 minus 5 is 4. 3 minus 3 is 0. They cancel out. And now I bring down my next digit, which is the 5. Now, how many times is 5 into the 45? 9. 9 times 5 is 45, and 45 minus 45 is 0. So my answer is 79, and that's my average, which is answer C. Whenever we have word problems, do not go crazy. You see, we have 4 word problems right now. Don't just skip them. Please read them. Sometimes they're very simple, sometimes they're really hard. But at least give your brain a chance to read them, okay? Your car gets about 20 miles per gallon. You're planning to drive to see your friends who live about 150 miles away. How many gallons of gas will you need to purchase to make the trip to see your friends and to return home? That's the magic thing. Okay, so let's go back. You're going to your friends. They live 850 miles away. How many gallons will you need to purchase to make the trip to see your friends and to return home? So this is you, this is your friends. You're going to your friends and you're coming back. When you go to your friends, this is 850 miles. When you're coming back, this is another 850 miles. Keep that in mind. So in total, I gotta add those two. 0, 5 and 5 is 10. I carry 1. 8 and 1 is 9, and 8 is 17. In total, you drove 1,700 miles. All right, keep that in mind. Now, the car gives you 20 miles per gallon. How many gallons do you use? So if this is the total distance and you get 20 miles for every gallon, you just divide 1,700 divided by the 20. The answer will give you the amount of gallons that you use. So 1,700 by 20, I can cancel 1 0 to make my life easier. You see 1 0, 1 0, and now I have 170 divided by 2. 2 into 17 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 17 minus 16 is 1. And then I bring down the 0. 2 into 10 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10, and 10 minus 10 is 0. So your answer is 85 gallons. About 85 gallons. Okay. So the idea is read it. If you don't get it the first time, read it again. Now you're gonna spend all your time in here, because then sometimes when you read it in word problems, you get frustrated. Do not get frustrated. If you have to skip it and come back to it. Okay? Do not get frustrated, please. Next. In 2006, your car cost $13,350. In 2008, your car cost $17,376. It went up in price. Interesting. That doesn't happen in real life. How much did the price increase? Okay, increase. How much did it went up? What do? Subtract the big number minus the small number. Now, it went from 13 to 17, so it increased, it went up. That's the main idea. Let's subtract. 6 minus 0 is 6, 7 minus 5 is 2, 3 minus 3 is 0. I have to put the 0, make sure. Some people cancel and they don't put any number, make sure with that. 7 minus 3 is 4, 1 minus 1 is 0, so it increased $4,026. Do I have that answer? Next. If you notice, that wasn't difficult at all, so give your brain a chance to read those problems. 10. While shopping for CDs, you know that the average price is about $8 per CD, including the tax. You have 136 in your pocket. How many CDs can you buy? So how many times do you have the 8 into the 36? Into the 136. You just need to divide. 8 goes into the 1 now. 8 goes into the 13? Yes. So it goes once. 1 times 8 is 8. 13 minus 8. That's right, 5. You bring down the next value. How many times 8 into the 56? 8 times 7 is 56. 56 minus 56 is 0. So you can buy around 17 CDs. Again, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. Very important. 11. In 2007, you weighed 207 pounds. In 2008, you weighed 198. So you see, you went down. You're losing weight. That's good. In 2009, you went to 185. So you lost more weight. How many pounds did you lose from 2007 to 2009? So here's a trick. What's the trick? The people will just get the first two values. No, they're saying from 2007 to 2009. 2007 was 207 pounds. 2009 was 185. Be careful. So 207 minus 185. Simple, it's just subtracting, but it's just being careful because they throw the 2008 to make you confused. Alright? 7 minus 5 is 2. 0 minus 8 you can't add, so you borrow 1 from the 2, and now 10 minus 8 is 2, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So you decrease, you lost 22 pounds. Next, write this expression in words. 9 plus 17 equals 26. Alright, so let's go over this real quick. Let's go the choices. The sum, difference, the product, the quotient. Alright, the sum means adding. Difference means subtracting. The product means multiplication. The quotient means division. Alright, keep that in mind. So my answer is A. The sum of 9 and 17, the sum of 9 and 17 is the equal sign 26. 13. Identify a fraction or mixed number that represents the shaded part of the figure. By the way, I'm going a little bit fast. If you need to pause, my advice would be read the question, pause the video, see if you know how to solve it. If you know how to solve it, and then put the video again, and then you can see if it's right or wrong. Okay? Remember, if you have any questions, put it in the comment section. Identify a fraction or mixed number that represents the shaded part of the figure. Alright, so fractions. Let's start with fractions. This figure, how many pieces do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. In total, there's 6 pieces. So my denominator has to be 6. Alright, not 5. And this is a whole number. Alright, and out of those 6 pieces, I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm taking 5 out of 6. I'm taking 5 out of 6. Let's do it again. Now I have 2 units. This is 1 unit and this is another unit. Each unit is divided into 4 pieces. So I have 1 full unit. This is 1 full unit. And now I have 1, 2, 3 out of 4. And this is 3/4. So I have 1 unit and 3/4. I have 1 unit and 3/4. Okay? If you notice, they give you this trick. 7 out of 8. No, because each unit is not divided into 8 pieces. It's divided into 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright? 15. 3/5. Meaning 5 is how many pieces divided. Each unit is divided. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you notice, all of them are divided into 5 pieces. But I'm taking 3 out of 5. This is only 1. This is 3. Here I have 4, here I have 2. So I'm taking 3 out of 5. 16, 2 and 1/3. That means I'm taking 2 full units, and from the third unit I'm taking 1. 1 2 units, 2/3, 1/3. I'm taking 2 units and 1 out of 3. Right? Here I only took 1 unit, 1 unit. Here I took 2 units and 2/3. 17. 5/3. So my unit is divided into 3 pieces. 3 pieces, 3 pieces, 3. No, here is divided into 5 pieces. Here's divided by 3, 3, and 3, right? So this is 3/4. This is 3/5. This is 3, 4, 5. So this is 3/3, and this is 2/3. So 3/3 and 2/3 is 5/3. Okay, so I can put it as a full unit, or I can say that I have 3 out of 3. Here I can say that I have 2 out of 3. And how do I add fractions? I add the numerators. 2 and 3 is 5, and I keep the same denominator. We're getting to fractions now. 18. Indicate whether the number is a proper fraction, improper, or a mixed number. So now let's go over these terms. Improper fraction, mixed number, and proper fraction. So proper fraction, 2 or 5. Any fraction that the numerator is smaller than the denominator. You've noticed before I have 5/3. 5/3 is improper fraction. The numerator, the number on the top, is bigger than the bottom. Proper, The top is smaller than the bottom. And a mixed number is this, 7, a whole number and a fraction. A mixed number is a whole number and a fraction. There you go. So right now, this is a mixed number. Write the mixed number as an improper fraction. If you notice, this is something that's going to happen. On number 19, they give you the answer for 18. They're saying this is a mixed number. So if you're not sure about what a mixed number is, look at this. This is a mixed number. They're telling you. As an improper fraction. Improper, the numerator, as all of them, look at this, all of them are bigger than the bottom. So now you know what is improper fraction is. Some tests will give you answers to previous problems. Keep that in mind. Now, how do we do this? Now, to turn a mixed number into improper fraction is you multiply the whole number times the numerator. The denominator. Multiply 5 times 7, and that gives you 35, and then you add the numerator. So 7 times 5 is 35, and 4 is 39. 39, and you keep the same denominator, which is 7. 39 over 7, and my answer is D. Write the improper fraction as a mixed number. Now to go backwards, what you do is you divide. 37 divided by 5. So you have, this is the whole number, 7, and from here you write the fraction, 7 and 2 over 5. Whatever remaining is will be your numerator, and this is always your denominator. So 7 and 2/5, which is A. Find the value of n. Basic equations. We have a fraction equal another fraction. When you're solving for a variable that's one fraction equal to another fraction, it's simple. You just cross multiply. 16 times n is 16n. And that will be equal to the other diagonal, which is 5 times 80. 5 times 80, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 8 is 40. Now, to leave the n by itself, you divide by whatever number is multiplying the n, you divide it on both sides. 16, 16. 16 divided by 16, they cancel out. And now you have n equals, I gotta divide 400 divided by 16. When you're dividing these big numbers, you can say 16, how many times 16 to the 40? Or you can say the first digit into the first digit. You can say 4 times, right? But then you go down 1 and you says, all right, let me try 3. 3 times 6 is 18. I put the 8 and I carry 1. 3 times 1 is 3 and 1 is 4. Now, can I say 40 minus 48? No, this one is bigger. That means it's not 3. I lower down to 2 and I start dividing again. Now, 2 times 6 is 12. I carry 1. 2 times 1 is 2 and 1 is 3. Can I do 40 minus 32? Minus 42? Yes. So 0 minus 2 I cannot, so I cross this out. It turns into 3 and I put 1 here. And now 10 minus 2 is 8. And 3 minus 3 is 0. They cancel out. I bring down the next value, which is 0. 16 into the 8. Again, the 1 is 8 times, but we already tried it out, so we can lower down 1 to the 7. Let's try 1 to the 6. All right, so let's try to the 6. 6 times 6 is 36. I carry 3. 6 times 1 is 6, and 3 is 9. 80 minus 96 cannot. So cross this out and try 1 lower down, which is the 5. Let's try it again. 5 times 6 is 30. I put a 0 and I carry 3. 5 times 1 is 5 and 3 is 8. 80 minus 80 is 0. That means that 400 divided by 16 is 25. And that's my answer. Okay? I'm showing this long process. Practice. Make sure you practice, because you don't know which problems you will be able to use the calculators and which ones you're not. By the way, on the Pert exam, you're going to have 30 questions per section. Okay? Out of those 30 questions, only 25 count. The problem is that we don't know which of those 25 count. More tools, more information, go to the description. All right, again, same as our tutoring program. Make sure you click on it. Very good. 22, same idea as the top. But now what's going to happen is the following. I only have one fraction on one side, but I don't have a fraction on the other side. So you can do it either cross multiplication or just think about it. It says, all right, hold on. Here's my variable. I have a 5 dividing. How can I cancel the 5 that is dividing? Remember, when you're solving an equation, you do the opposite operation. If the 5 is dividing, to cancel the 5, you multiply times 5. If you do it on one side, you multiply on the other side. Now 5 on the top and 5 on the bottom, they cancel out, and now you have n equals 5 times 3, 15. All right, basic equations. Let's go next. 23, simplify. I need to simplify a fraction. So when you simplify a fraction, the idea is to make it as small as you can. Not big. So this is not an answer. You want to make it as small as you can. Now, how can I do this? The first thing is you say, all right, can I divide by 2? Can I divide by 3? Can I divide by 5? I'm using all prime numbers, which is 2, 3, 5, 7, and so on and so forth. For the most part, I'll use the first 3 for the most part. Can I divide by 2 on the top and the bottom? Yes. 12 divided by 2 is 6. If I divide by 2 on the top, I got to divide by 2 on the bottom. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Can I keep going? Let me try it out. Can I divide by 2 on the top and the bottom? 6 divided by 2. How do we know if I can divide by 2? Since the beginning. A number is divisible by 2 if the number ends as an even number or 0. 6 even? Yes. Ends as 0? Yes. So I can divide by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Can I divide more? I can use the 3 on the top, but I cannot use it on the bottom, therefore I have to stop. So my answer is 3 over 5, which is same idea with the bottom. Can I divide by 2? Yes, the top. Can I divide by 2 on the bottom? No, because the 5 is not even. All right. Easy one, because you can see it right away, is how can I divide a number by 5? A number is divisible by 5 if it ends in 5 or if it ends in 0. Therefore, I can divide by 5 the top and by 5 the bottom. 60 divided by 5. So 60 divided by 5 is 12. Same with the bottom. So my answer is 21. Can I simplify more? Let's try by 2. But can I divide by 2 on the bottom? No. What about 3? So how do I know if a number is divisible by 3? A number is divisible by 3 if you add the digits. 1 plus 2 is 3. And can I divide 3 by 3? Yes. Look at the bottom. 2 plus 1 is 3. Can I divide 3 by 3? Yes. Therefore, the 12 is divisible by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 21 divided by 3. So right there, I show you basic rules about 2, 3, and 5. Let's go back over here. So now, 0, even, 6, even. So I can divide by 2. 60 divided by 2. 36 divided by 2. All right, I already show you how to do all the processes, so I'm going to be a little bit faster so we can move ahead. If not, this video is going to be 25 hours. Just kidding. I divided by 2, yes. Can I keep dividing by 2? Yes, 0, and 8 is an even number. So 30 divided by 2, 15. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Can I divide by 3? 15 divided by 3 is 5. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So that's how you simplify. Times table, they have to be on point. Make sure you practice your times table. 26. Between the pair of fractions, insert the appropriate sign. This is less than, this is equal, and this is greater. When you have the pointing, it's less. So on the left side, my number is going to be smaller, and when you have the mouth, the number here is bigger. All right. And in my case, 1/2 is what to 3/8? I have no idea, right? Because they don't have the same denominator. So how do I know which one is smaller, which one is bigger? Is I need to have the same denominator so I can compare the top. So what's going to happen is I need to make 1/2 into 8. How do I do that? By one number do I need to multiply the 2 to get into 8? By 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So what's going to happen is I multiply by 4 the bottom and I multiply by 4 the top. So 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So 1/2 is the same as 4/8. Now I don't look at the half, I just look at 4/8 and 3/8. Which one is bigger? 4/8, right? Because the number at the top is bigger, therefore my symbol is 4/8, or in my case 1/2 is greater than 3/8. Again, I need to have the same denominator. Because these two are different denominators, what's going to happen is I flip them, I switch them. I'm going to multiply this denominator by 16 and I multiply this denominator by 13. If I do the bottom, I do the top. If I do the bottom, I do the top. So that's the process. Now it's a matter of multiplying. Let's multiply. $208. Now here, 4 times 16, 64. 13 times 16, we did it already. 208. Now once they have the same denominator, I can compare the numerators. 52 is smaller, bigger, or equal to 64. 52 is less than 64. Same idea with 28. Need to have the same denominator. This one is simple because I can multiply by 3 and I'll get 21 by 3. So 7 times 3 is 21. 5 times 3 is 15. And if you notice, they're equal. 15 over 21, 15 over 21. Same idea. Write your answer in simplest form. Simplest form. Let's read it. A baseball team has 9 games so far this season. The team won 7 games. What fraction of its games has the team won? The team won 7 out of how many in total? Out of 9. 7 out of 9. 30. Of a family's 855 weekly income, 86 usually goes towards groceries. So they spend 86 on groceries. What fraction of the family's weekly income is usually spent on groceries? So it's $86 out of 855. So that's all what they wanted. Very simple. You don't have to do anything else with the math. Next one. You have 3 bolts that are 3/8, 5/16, 5/8 inches long. You selected the shortest of this to join 2 plates. Which length is selected? So which one is the shortest, Lucy, out of the 3 of them? In order for me to find out, well, between these two, you know that already, right? 3/8 and 5/8, this one is winning. But now I don't know the 5/16. I need to have the same denominator. When you need the same denominator, the idea is, obviously you cannot divide by 2 here because there's going to be a fraction at the top, a decimal. So you have to make the other ones into 16s. So times 2, times 2, times 2, times 2. So this is going to give me 2 times 2, 3 is 6, 16. Then the next one is 5 over 16. And the next one is 5 times 2, which is 10 over 16. Shortest, the smallest one. The one that has the smallest numerator, which is 5. 32. A broker has an order to sell 100 shares of whatever company, right? If the price increases another 3/16 of a point, The stock went up 732 points today. Does the broker sell the stock? So read it again, twice, 3 times. The idea is he's going to sell this company if the price goes up this amount. Today, it went up this amount. Did the broker sell it or not? So the idea is if this number is equal or greater than this, the shares will sell. You will sell the company. If this number is smaller than this, it will not sell. So I need to know if this is bigger or smaller. I need the same denominator. If you notice, it's the same process idea. How can I turn 16 into 32? Times 2. Right? 3 times 2 is 6. 16 times 2 is 32. So if the price goes up this, I sell the company. Today, it went up 7 or 32. And as we know, 7 is bigger than 6, therefore the company got sold. Next, add and simplify. To have fractions, I need to have the same denominator. If I have the same denominator, I keep my denominator. And I add or subtract the top. 3 plus 3. I don't see 8's over here. That means I have to simplify this. Therefore, divided by 2 divided by 2. Divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 4. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 3/4. Alright? So don't go crazy if you don't see your answer. Try simplifying. They have the same denominator, so I keep the denominator. And I do the top. 15 and 9 is 24, and 10 is 34. Remember, I keep the denominator. So if you notice, there's only one with a different denominator. The rest of them, they have the same denominator. 34. There we go. Do I have the same denominator? No. I have to be the same denominator. Because they're different, an easy way to get the same denominator is just flip and multiply. I mean, flip is the 7 I multiply times the other denominator. And the 6 I multiply times the other denominator. If I do on the bottom, I do on the top. Right? 6 and 6, and here's 7 and 7. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 2 times 6. 7 times 6. Once I have the same denominator, I keep the denominator and I add or subtract whatever sign you have here. 7 plus 12. 19 over 42. Where is my answer? 19 over 42. Here we go. Next, I don't have the same denominator, but I know that I can turn the 3 into a 12 if I multiply times 4. Bottom and top. 4 times 2. 4 times 3. I don't have to do anything with the second fractions because now I have the same denominator. I keep my denominator and I add the top. 9 over 12. Is that one of my answers? So is this my answer? No, because they say add and simplify. So I have to simplify that 9 over 12. Can I divide by 2? No. Can I divide by 3? Yes. 9 divided by 3 because it's going to give me 3. And 12 divided by 3 is going to give me 4. So my answer is 3 over 4 because they're asking me to simplify. You see how tricky that question is? Alright. 37. 2 and 7/11 plus 1 and 7/11. So the idea is when I have two mixed numbers, I'm going to add the whole numbers. 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 is going to give me 3. And then I add the fractions individually. So 7, 11 plus 7, 11. I think this is a joke. So they have the same denominator, so I keep 14 over 11. But now this is an improper fraction. So I had to turn this into a proper fraction, to a mixed number. How do I do that? I said 14 divided by 11. How many times is 11 to 14? 1. 1 times 11 is 14 minus 11. That means 14 over 11 is the same as 1 and 3 11ths. But I already have 3 whole numbers, right? 3 units. So I'm going to add 3 plus that. That's going to give me 3 plus 1 is 4, and the fraction. I don't know why did I put it 4. 4 whole and 3 11ths. 4 and 3 11ths. Same with that 38 and 39, right? Now in 38, I have to get the same denominator. I know it's going to be 5 and 17, which is going to give me 22. Now let's do 1/3 plus 2 sevenths. Meaning this times 7, this one times 3. On the bottom 3, on the top 3, on the bottom 7, on the top 7. Okay? So this is going to give me 7 over 21 plus 2 times 3 is 6 over 21, and 7 and 6 is going to give me 13, and I keep the denominator. Alright, so that means I have 22 whole units. 13 over 21, is that one of the answers? 22 and 13 over 21, here we go. 39, same idea as the other ones. Alright, we know we're going to, in whole units, we're going to have 2 and 3, which is going to give me 5. Now I have to add 7 eighths plus 1/5 plus 1/2, and they make it a little bit tricky because all the denominators are different. To make it simple, and this is how you find the LCD, the least common denominator. Okay, but again, I'm not going to go crazy with this. To make it easy, first of all, see if any of them goes into the other one. What I mean is, 2 goes into the 8? Yes, 4 times. So the 8 will be the common denominator between the 8 and the 2. Now, I don't have to think about the 2 anymore. Now, what number goes into the 8 and the 5? Multiply them. 8 times 5 is 40, right? So if you notice that 8 times 5, that means I got to multiply this times 5 and this one times 8, right? And if I do the 5 on the bottom here, I do the 5 on the top. And if I do the 8 on the bottom, I do the 8 on the top. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 8 is 40. Plus 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 5 is 40. If you notice, I haven't touched the last one. My denominator is 40. I have a 2. By one number do I need to multiply the 2 to get 40? That's right, by 20. 20 times 1 is 20, and 20 times 2 is 40. And now I have the same denominator. I add the numerators. 35 and 8 and 20. So 35 and 8 is 43, and 20 is 63 over the same denominator. Remember that I have 5 whole units. But again, 63 over 40 is an improper fraction. I have to divide. 3, so I have 1 whole unit, 23 over 40. But I already have 5 units, so 5 plus 1 is 6 units and 23 over 40. If you notice, the problems are going to get bigger right now. 6 and 23 over 4. 40 is my last answer. Next one. Now, we were adding before, now it's subtracting. Same idea, and I said it since the beginning. As long as you have the same denominator, you can add or subtract the top. So same denominator, I'm going to keep it as 8. And 4 minus 3 is 1. Easy as that. 41. Now we notice that they have the same denominator, so you just subtract. So 28 minus 5 is 23. Same denominator. I keep the same denominator. Now, this is an improper fraction. Do I have improper fractions here? No. That means I have to divide that. So that means this is a 1 whole and 10 13ths, right? 1 and 10 13ths, answer is D. 42, different denominator. That means I have to make it the same denominator. Easy times 7 times 7, that's the easiest one. Flip the denominators, times 2 times 2, right? 2 times 5 is 10. Let's do it here. 2 times 7 is 14, minus 1 times 7 is 7, and 14, and now 10 minus 7 is 3, and we keep the same denominator. Keep that in mind. 3 over 14. Same idea now. 9 and 12. You can find the common denominator between these two, right? 3 goes into both of them. So 24, 36, maybe 36 is the common denominator. So you start with 9 times 2 is 18, times 3 is 27, times 4 is 36, times 5 is 45. These are multiples of 9, right? Again, times table have to be on point. And I keep going. Now multiples of 12. 12 times 1 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24, 36, 48, and so on. The reason I'm doing that is because now I can see that I have a common denominator, you see, 36. That's called the LCD. This is an easy way how to find it, all right? So now I need to turn 9 into 36 and 12 into 36. If I do the other way, which is flipping the denominators, this is times 12 and times 9 and times 12. 12 times 9 is going to give you 108, which is much bigger number. Again, either way, if this is okay with you, that's fine. If not, flip the numbers and then just simplify at the end. Right now, because I found the LCD, I'm going to work with the LCD, which is 36. So how do we do that? I got to turn 9 into 36. By one number do I need to multiply the 9 to get 36? Times 4. I do it on the bottom, I do it on the top. 7 times 4 is 28, and 9 times 4 is 36. Minus, how can I turn 12 into 36? Times 3. Times 3 on the top, times 3 on the bottom. 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 12 is 36. Once you have the same denominator, you keep it and you subtract the top. The top is 28 minus 3, which is going to give you 25 over 36. And this is, let me see, here we go. If you were doing the other way, then your denominator was going to be 108. That means you have to simplify, 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 simplify. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Let's go to 44. Now here I'm subtracting. Okay? So 16 and 3/8 minus 9 and 5/8. Now you can take 9 out of 16, that's fine, but you cannot take 5 out of 3. So that's kind of the trick right there. So what's going to happen is you got to turn these 3/8 in something bigger than 5/8 because you have to subtract the fractions. So I'm going to have 16 and 3/8. Okay, and I need to make this fraction bigger. That means I'm going to take one whole from here. This is going to turn into 15, right? And now that's going to 3/8. That one whole is the same as if I have my denominator as 8, then I'm going to turn into 8 over 8. This whole that I borrow from the 16 is going to turn into 8 over 8. And now 3 over 8 plus 8 over 8 is going to give me 11 over 8. So let me go back. 16 and 3/8 is the same as 15 and 11/8. Right? Remember, the idea was to make this fraction much bigger so I can subtract the 5/5. Now I have 15 11/8 minus 9 and 5/8. So what's going to happen is I subtract the fractions. They have the same denominator, so it's 11 minus 5 is going to give me 6/8, and then I have 15 minus 9, which is going to give me 6. 6 and 6/8. 6 and 6/8. Now, do I have that as one of my answers? No, I don't have 6/8 because I can simplify the 6/8. So if I divide it by 2 here, they're going to turn into 3, and if I divide it by 2 here, it's going to give me 4. So this is the same as 6 3/4. 6 and 3/4. Here we go. All right, a little trick right there, and we have to do the same thing in 45. So let's start, because I have 2 7s minus 6 7s. I'm not able to do that. So I have to do the same borrowing. So the 14 is going to lay 1. So 14 and 2 7s, right? This is going to turn into 13, because that whole unit is going to be lended to the fraction. And 1 whole unit is going to be, because my fraction, the denominator is 7, then I make it 7 over 7. This whole unit is 7 over 7. And now I add it to 2 over 7. 2 over 7 plus 7 over 7 is going to give me 9 over 7. So instead of 14 and 2 7s, I have 13 and 9 7s minus 6 7s. Because there's no whole here, then 13 minus 0 is 13, but 9 7 minus 6 7 is going to give me 3 7s. 9 minus 6 is 3. And now the answer is 13 and 3 7s. I hope you're getting the idea. It's a little tricky, but that's how you do it. Same thing is going to happen here. There's no fractions on the 10, but I have to make a fraction so I can subtract the 3 7s. So I'll bring the 10, and I have 9, remember, and then the 1 unit that is left is going to turn, I'm going to go to the other fraction. It says, oh, over 7, so it's going to be 7 over 7. 7 over 7 is 1 unit plus 9 is 10. That's how I started with. Alright, so I am borrowing 1 whole unit and I'm turning it into 7 over 7 minus 5, 3 over 7. What was the reason for 7 over 7? Because the other fraction, the denominator is 7. That's the whole idea. Now I can subtract straightforward. 9 minus 5 is 4, and 7 over 7 minus 3 over 7 gives me 4 over 7. And my answer is, let's see, 47. Same idea over and over again. Okay? Now I have, it's different denominator. So I got to work with the denominator. So first of all, let's turn this into the same denominator. So by what number do I need to multiply the 7 to get 14? Times 2. I'm just doing the fraction. So this is going to give me 15. 2 times 2 is 4. And 2 times 7 is 14. Alright? Minus 11 over 14. The reason I did that is now I have the same denominator. And now I know that, can I take 11 out of 4? No, so I need to borrow 1 from the 15. So this is going to turn into 14, and that whole unit, because my denominator is 14, is going to turn into 14 out of 14. So that 15, look at this, 14 over 14 is 1, plus 14 is 15. And now I'm going to add it to, I'm going to add the fractions. So my final answer here is going to be 4 over 14 plus 14, so 14 and 4 is 18 over the same denominator minus 11 over 14. Now I have the same denominator and my numerator is bigger. So my final answer is going to be 14, and 18 minus 11 is 7 over 14. And as I can see, can I simplify 7 over 14? Yes. Divided by 7 is going to give me 14. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 14 divided by 7 is 2. 14 and 1/2, 14 and 1/2, there you go. Alright, so add and subtract and multiply, make sure you simplify your final answer. Alright, let's go to 48. Write your answer in simplest form. That means you have to simplify your answers. Okay, simplest form, simplify. Guys, by the way, if you're understanding and you're learning, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel so you get notifications for the future videos that we'll be doing on the Pert exam. And now, there were 28 1/4 yards of wire in the spool. After the customer bought 3 5/8 yards of wire from the spool, how many yards were left? So this is the original. They took this out of the spool. That means they're subtracting this. So my problem is the subtraction of those two fractions. That's it, nothing else. Now, as the same thing as the previous problem, my fractions have different denominator. Okay, so I get the same denominator, so I'm going to turn 1/4 into 8. So how can I turn the 4 into 8 times 2 and times 2? So that 28 doesn't change, but the top is 2 over 8, right? Minus 3 over 5 eighths. Now I have the same denominator. Can I take the 5 out of 2? No, that means I have to borrow from the 28, and here we go again. So that 28 is going to turn into 27, and because my fraction is over 8, it's going to be 8 over 8. That 28 is this, and I have to add the 2 8s. So that's going to be 27. 8 plus 2 is 10 over 8 minus 3, 5 over 8. Alright, I'm hoping you're getting this. Now subtract straightforward. 10 minus 5 is 5, same denominator, and 27 minus 3 is 24. And 24 and 5/8 of a yard. Here we go. 49. Brian was training to run a marathon. During the 3-day period before the race, he decided that he would train for a total of 11 hours. If he trained for 2 3/5 of hours on the first day and 2 9/10 hours on the second, how many hours would he need to train on the third day? Interesting. All right. So this is 2 days of training, right? If you notice, all of the answers start with the 5 or 6 hours. Okay, so what does that mean? 11 is the total. He trained for this, he trained for that. How many hours are left? That means 11 minus this minus this. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. Another way is adding these two fractions, adding these two mixed numbers, I apologize, and then subtracting from 11. I believe that's the easiest way. Okay, because if not, I'm going to subtract 11 minus this mixed number, and then whatever answer minus another mixed number. Anyway, either way, you'll get the same answer. So let's add these two, and my answer is subtracted from 11. So 2 3/5 plus 2 9/10. The main idea with the word problems is understand what they're asking you. That's the main idea. Once you get the math, hopefully by practicing you get better. Okay, let's add these two. I add the whole numbers, that's fine, but my fractions don't have the same denominator. Need to turn into a 10, so times 2 and times 2. So I have 2. 3 times 2 is 6, 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 and 9/10. Add the whole numbers is 4, and 6 and 9 is 15. Keep the same denominator. Can I simplify the fraction? Yes. Into 5s. So 15 divided by 5 is going to give me 3, and 10 divided by 5 gives me 2. Now what's going to happen is the following. This is an improper fraction. The number on the top is bigger than the bottom. So I know that this is going to be another whole number here. So let me turn 3 over 2, improper fraction, as a mixed number. So 3 divided by 2. How many times is 2 into the 3? 1. 1 times 2, 3 minus 2 is 1. So 3 over 2 is the same as 1. This is my whole number, and 1/2. So 3 over 2 is 1 and 1/2. So I have 4 plus 1 and 1/2. And this is going to give me 5 and 1/2, which is this answer. Now, are we right? Let's go back. If I remember well, we were adding this and this, right? That's what we did, and that's what we got 5.5. Now the mistake here is, yeah, I saw the answer right there and I just mark it on that, but that's not what I was doing. Remember, the idea was I was going to add those two and then my final answer subtracted from 11. So now we have 11 hours minus 5.5. 11 minus 5 is 6, and then 6 minus 1/2 is 5.5. So it's a coincidence that by doing the mistake, I got the right answer. Many times when you solve a problem, when you make a mistake, you'll see that as a possible answer. That doesn't mean it's the right answer. In our case, that's the right answer. All right, let's move on. Okay, let's work on 50. Now, 50 is multiplication. So you see the change, right? Word problems, adding, subtracting. Now I'm going to go into multiplication and division. Multiplication of fractions is different from adding and subtracting. When you multiply fractions, you go straight ahead. You multiply the numbers straight ahead. So 3 times 1 is 3, and 8 times 3 is 24, right? And then you simplify. Can you divide by 3 the top and the bottom? Yeah, the top divided by 3, yes. 24 divided by 3 is 8, so divided by 3 on the top, 3 divided by 3 is 1. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So my answer is 1/8. 1/8. 51. Now I'm multiplying a whole number times a fraction, right? Again, because you're multiplying, I want to make this whole number a fraction, which I put it over 1. And then the top with the top and the bottom with the bottom. 11 times 5 is 55. 1 times 8 is 8. Done. Mixed number. Turn the mixed number into an improper fraction, meaning you multiply the whole number times the denominator and you add the 4. 2 times 5 is 10 and 4 is 14. You keep the same denominator. Times 2 over 7. Okay? 14 times 2 is 28. 5 times 7 is 35. If you notice, how can I simplify? You start thinking divided by 2, divided by 3, by 5. All the prime numbers, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and so on and so forth. Here, divisible by 2, yes, not by 2 here, by 3, no, by 5, no, by 7. 28 divided by 7. 35 divided by 7. Okay, now let me give you a little trick before this. Now, you notice that I turned the 2 and 4/5 into 14 over 5. Because I multiply, I can simplify here before I move on. Meaning, I can simplify a number from the top with a number from the bottom. 14 and 7 divided by 7 gives me 1, divided by 7 gives me 2. And now, what I have left is 2 times 2, which is 4, and the bottom 5 times 1 is 5. So as a little trick that's going to help you avoid those big numbers. Okay, I'll do this more often from now on. 53. Mixed number, I gotta turn it into an improper fraction. So 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14 over 3 times 9 over 1. Again, I can multiply straight ahead and then simplify at the end, or look at this 9. Can I simplify that 9 and the 3? Yes. Divided by 3 is 1, divided by 3 is 3. Now on the bottom I only have 1 times 1, which is 1, and at the top is 14 times 3, which is going to give you 30 and 12, 14 times 3. 3 times 4 is 12, carry 1. 3 times 1 is 3, and 1 is 4, so it's 42. 42 divided by 1 is? Now, that's multiplication. Division. The whole division is, let me see if I remember, is keep, change, flip. All right? When you divide in fractions, you keep the first fraction. You change the symbol. Instead of division, it's going to turn into multiplication, and then you flip the second fraction. Instead of 5 over 8, it's 8 over 5. So KCF, not KFC, KCF. Keep, change, flip. That's how you divide fractions. And now we know already how to multiply them, which is straight ahead, or I can reduce if I can reduce. Can I reduce 6 and 5, or 6 and 9, or 8? I can reduce any of that. The 6 and the 9, yes, divided by 3. Divided by 3 is 2, divided by 3 is 3. Smaller numbers, right? And then I just multiply straight. 2 times 8 is 16. 3 times 5 is 15. And now I have 16 over 15, and that's my answer. So there's many ways. If you're able to simplify before you start multiplying, it's even better because you avoid bigger numbers. That's kind of the idea. 55, 1/2 divided by 8. That whole number, fraction. And now, keep, changed, flip. Straightforward. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 8 is 16. 1 over 16. I hope you get the idea. 56. So I have 17 divided by 4 times 4, 16, and 1 is 17. Keep the same denominator. Whole number, make it a fraction. Make sure you do this always. And now keep, change, flip. Oh, look at this. I can multiply and then reduce, but look at this. 17 on the top, 17 on the bottom. Cancel 17, cancel 17. My answer is 4 over 1, which is 4. And potentially horrible problem became an easy problem. Okay? Guys, we're going to stop there. We're going to continue in the next one. So please make sure you click on this card, and that will be the continuation of this video. Subscribe, like the video. I'll see you in the next one.